Hello, hello, everyone! Tonight, we play the Halloween event in World of Warships Legends on Nightmare Mode. We are in a Battleship, the Charmer. I am Phoenix61. If you didn't know, if you haven't seen my videos before, welcome. So we are going to demonstrate how to win this thing using the battleship. Ideally, I feel like the best setup, like for the blueberries on the team, is the best loadout here is 3 battleships and then 1 cruiser, 1 destroyer. I feel like I have the most success with that, but we got matched with 2 destroyers here, and that's fine. I feel like as long as you get just halfway decent players that don't go nuts and don't go venturing too far out on their own and kind of know what they're doing, then it makes this game mode, this Halloween event, much easier. So you'll have ones where you're paired with bad people, and it just seems like shit's hitting the fan every minute. And then when you do finally get a game where you win, you're like, that was easy. Why was it so hard before? So it's somewhat dependent on who you get match made with, right? So just keep playing. You're gonna have some bad games. You're gonna get some bad folks with you. But we eventually, after a few games, we have success, right? So. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm just bad. Who knows? But so my strategy with the battleship is, I feel like a lot of people aren't doing this, but on these higher difficulty levels, if you're not getting within range to use the secondary batteries, your guns are being wasted. Those secondary battery guns are being wasted. So I like to kind of do this move forward, move backwards kind of motion, and I typically go right for the middle area when I'm in a battleship, right? So I can cover kind of both sides, and then as enemies do get in close, the secondary batteries are kind of doing their thing and lighting fires and causing damage over time. So I'm taking out plenty of destroyers and finished off cruisers and stuff with the secondary batteries, and I'll even just straight up ignore a ship on one side on one side of me while I fight on the other side, right? So just because I know the secondary batteries are kind of doing their thing, right? So keep that in mind. Obviously, you don't want to go so far out. You don't want to just focus on that. You don't want to go so far forward that you're the only ship getting shot at. You want to stay close to your team still. In general, you don't want to go push too far forward. You kind of want to stay back by the Transylvania ship. So we're hovering kind of right outside the base zone area, whatever you want to call it. And one of the alternate goals is to not let any enemies get within that zone right until the last wave. But yeah, you'll see me kind of just kind of rock back and forth here for the most part, just to kind of, as enemies get in closer, I'll start bagging up, and as they're further away, I'll start moving forward so I can get shots on them, right? So, and get those secondary batteries engaged a little sooner here and there, right? But don't put yourself at too much risk. Also, with the shooting at the cruisers, I'm noticing just over pens like crazy. So you get the over penetrations when you shoot them. You do have to hit really low. I think you're right at the water line to try to get those penetrations and Citadel hits. So keep that in mind. You'll kind of notice when I do actually aim in the right spot that I'm getting Citadel hits when we aim low. The other thing you can do if you are shooting ships further out, you can always switch to HE. That's also kind of ideal when you're shooting at destroyers, right? Because those are obviously going to overpen the destroyers. So, but yeah, so here we're kind of just not paying attention to the battleship that's in front of us. I'm trying to kind of wait till he gets lured in, till he's close enough for the secondary batteries. Which is 7 kilometers, so he's almost there. But then I did see the destroyer set a ton of torpedoes after him, right? So, and then you'll want to save your shield consumable for when you're about to take the torpedo hits, right? So we'll trigger it right as that torpedo's about to hit, and then hopefully any of these other ones that are kind of lingering, if know if that one's gonna hit us or not. Nope. Okay, so yeah, you only get a few seconds with that. And then you'll see me use the heal too when I don't always need it. You know, the reload, you know, the recharge on the heal is a minute. You know, so you get it goes for a minute and then it recharges for a minute, right? So if you think you can survive for a minute, you know, look around at your team and see if any of them need heals. Like, that's super, super important. People are kind of selfish when they play this, but you know, if you're a battleship, you're in the best you know, the best seat to not be super selfish with your heal, and you're doing yourself a favor by keeping your teammates alive, right? So they may not even know that you're doing that for them, but just do it. You'll help keep them alive. If you're not desperate for your heal, you know, trigger it. So yeah, if I don't need it, every once in a while you'll see me looking around at just randomly, and it's not really random. I'm checking to see if there's anybody close to me that's kind of low on health. So cruisers and destroyers in particular, because their heals are very like short term and like, you know, like time dependent. Like the cruisers, they've got that reload booster, and then they can only heal while that reload booster is going, right? And then the destroyers have their engine boosts, and they're only healing while that engine boost is going, right? So you as a battleship, you've got, you know, this invincibility consumable, as well as your heal. And then if you're close to other battleships, you know, those other battleships are going to heal you too. So close enough for the secondary batteries to hit the very ravenous ghoul over there. So ravenous, just look at him. But yeah, so we're basically ignoring that ship just because the secondary batteries are doing a pretty good job of taking him on. The other thing too, if you notice, so I do kind of want to get him off the board because he's getting close to our zone. Is kind of why I decided to start shooting his direction, right? Other thing too, if you're rocking back and forth, you know, moving backwards a little bit and then move forward again, that does kind of help deter some torpedoes. So those destroyers are going to shoot torpedoes based on your current direction that you're moving, and if you change it here and there, they're most likely going to miss most of those hits, right? So the battleship off to our right, you can see the secondary is kind of going to town on him. So I am just straight up ignoring him because we've got more ships to our left, and so we're focusing on those, right? So yeah, if you're not, you know, if you're staying so far away as a battleship that your secondaries are never engaging, you're kind of missing out on some damage you could be doing and helping your team. Yeah, so we hit him a little bit lower there, and we actually got Citadel hit on. So yeah, we're aiming like right at the water line. You know, if you aim a little lower, I feel like you get too many that just splash into the water, right? But right at the water line is kind of where I feel like I'm having the best luck at getting Citadel hits on those cruisers. These battleships too just have so much health too, so it's, you know, it's nice when the secondaries can kind of light fires and things like that. So we'll see if we can't finish this guy off. But yeah, it's nice when those secondaries can light fires and kind of do some damage over time for you while you focus on other things, right? Almost up to 200,000 damage. The kind of the goal for you know, each nightmare mode that you play is to try and get over 250,000, right? So because there's some like alternate missions. If you go and look in your mission section, you will see said missions, and I think it's pretty much play as every ship type and get 250,000, and it's like several times too. But those completions will help you max out your commanders for the Halloween event mode, right? Yep. So now the enemies are further out, so we were moving forward to kind of try and get us a little bit closer. And then of course you don't want to ditch your team completely. You kind of want to stay back in general, because everybody's going to come to you. And then as they start approaching, we start slowing down, right? So the other thing too, the battleship, especially the cruisers, are like god awful as well. But to stop and change direction, like moving from backward to forward, just takes forever. especially moving from forward to stopping and going backwards, right? So you have to keep that in mind. You have to start it way earlier than you would with a lot of other battleships from the main game. Yeah, and like so here we're getting overpens, and I think I probably should have been using HE shells on these cruisers as they're further out, and then when they get in closer, and when you've got a good shot at them, as far as like being able to kind of line up the water line with their hull, that's when you're gonna do the most damage with the AP. I'm noticing. So yeah, if they're further out, it might be more beneficial to use HE. I'm not 100% sure on that, but you know, you do you, right? You'll figure it out. If I can figure it out, you can figure it out. Yeah, so we're somewhat ignoring this destroyer for the time being, just because our secondary batteries are shooting at him. He'll get close enough to for us to, if he gets too close, right, he's gonna annoy me and I'm gonna shoot him, right? So, but we'll see if the secondary batteries can't take care of him for the time being. So yeah, nice and low shot there. We get 2 Citadel hits on that cruiser. Still not enough to completely take him out, but he is almost dead now. So one more round if we can get that good. Boosh. There we go.
Enemy cruiser sunk.
Then yeah, so just as we're getting these enemies in closer to us, we're backing up, right? We're staying close to our team. We're moving back. If they're in range of the secondary batteries, that's plenty close. You can continue. You can start retreating from there, right? And we've been using our Insta Shield here as much as possible whenever we're taking torpedo hits, but occasionally you have to suck it up and take one just because there's so many coming at you in this mode. And it's probably the very ravenous ghoul up there that is shooting most of these at us, right? And we decided to ignore him because our secondary batteries were shooting, right? But we use the shield to take those torps, and we've got a decent amount of health still. Our heal is 9 seconds away from recharging. It'd be nice if the other battleship had his going. That's the other thing too, if you're in a division, it's going to be super beneficial to kind of alternate. You know, if you both are rocking battleships, you could say, hey, are you using your heal? And, you know, make sure you time it and just stay close enough to each other, right? Yeah, the radius on this, I think the radius gets bigger on how many, like how far out it heals for allies as you levels up. So we're, by this time of the game, you can see it's at level 5, indicated by the little Roman numeral above the consumable, right? Yeah, and like sometimes I'm like, I'm gonna take that guy out, and I look away, and then he doesn't die. Like, it's super annoying. Trying to decide who to shoot here at the moment. We've got secondary batteries going like they should. At this point, we didn't have a choice in that. These guys are just too close, right? And it looked like somebody already took out Rasputin. I prefer to take him out as the battleship, but you'll notice destroyers going for him quite a bit too. But if you're the battleship, you can ram him and just kind of instantly get him off the board. Obviously, you don't want to hunt him down, but as he gets close and gets in with you and where your team is, you can use your invincibility shield as you ram him and just add a ton of damage to your score. As in Halloween event fashion, your friendly allies show up right as you've killed everything, right? Almost a 500,000 damage with this. Like I said, if I think I had one game on like hard mode where I had like over 700,000 damage because I had a similar game to this, and then plus I also rammed Rasputin and used the invincibility shield as we were doing it. So we had just quite a bit more damage on hard mode. But that's been my strategy thus far. I know as you go through these, they're called nightmare circles, but I guess basically it's a more difficult tier as you beat each nightmare mode, right? So then you got to play it on a more difficult circle. I think that, you know, we may have to change strategy as we get up there, right? But that's been what's working for me so far. Played a similar strategy with the cruiser as well, right? So, but thanks for watching, everybody. We'll have more World of Warships videos on the way. This is how I've set up this commander. Yeah, as you start beating those nightmare modes, you get plenty of soul spheres to upgrade them all the way, right? So just keep playing. But yes, please subscribe to the channel. We got more stuff on the way. Thanks for watching, everybody.